Hi everyone. Today we're talking to Jan Sandlund. He is the owner of Böle Tannery. Böle Tannery is the last standing spruce bark tannery in the world, and Böle Tannery is located in the very north of Sweden, in Piteå. And we're very happy to have Jan with us here today. Hi Jan.
Hi there. Good to be here.
Good to have you. I'm very excited about speaking more about leather with you today. But first, I want to hear a little bit about you and your background. So please tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm the third generation tanner in this tannery in our company. And my grandfather, Oscar, started 1899. So this has been for a long time, and we are now, next year will be the 122nd year in our family. So, so that feels good.
And you also have a son that you have that you are handing over the business to in the future as well.
His name is Anders, and he's number 4 in the generation. And he has a son who is 5. Let's see what will happen
yeah.
in the future.
Maybe it could continue for forever and ever.
He likes to be in the tannery here, anyhow.
That's a good start. That's a good start. But tell us a little bit about this spruce bark tannery process, which is so rare and so interesting.
Yeah, you know, this in around 1930, there were 10 tanneries like this in this area because people needed leather for the everyday life and for practical things like shoes, gloves, and harnesses for horses and things like that. So there was a need of leather, and therefore we had, and you also had to take care of the hides because otherwise you would have to throw them away only. So tanneries were started in many places, and to tan leather with spruce bark, you need long time because we use no chemicals, and we have vats in the ground, like is behind me here, and so because we, and also the long time and the absence of chemicals makes the leather slowly become tanned all the way through. And the
How long
bark has
time?
to, well, it takes 10 months in these vats in the behind me.
Okay.
And with preparation before and after, it takes 1 year to make the leather. And this is now done as bark tanning and tanning in vats in the ground, to my knowledge, only in 4 places in the whole world. But we seem to be the only ones in the world using spruce bark, because oak bark, what the other ones are using, doesn't grow here, right? Simply.
Okay. And so how many hides can you do a year if it takes that long time?
Yeah, this is a limitation. So we can we have made 48 hides per year. I think we can increase it, and it would be possible to increase it if we have more vats. We need more space. But so this leather becomes very costly. It's per square foot. You cannot buy it even, because half a hide, if you divide the whole hide into 2 sides, one side can give us 1 briefcase, which we could sell for 5,000 euros. And divide that with 20 square foot, you get the square foot price. Nobody would pay that.
No, no. So you have to use them. You use all of the hides, all of the 48 hides that you do in 1 year. You use them and you make products out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. What type
rather
of
exclusive products?
Yeah,
like briefcases, gun slips, everything for hunting or for office, or also make bespoke articles, things like that.
And these vats that you are using for dye or for tanning the hides, the water in them have a bit of a history as well, right?
Yeah, because my father used to say that you shall start tanning in old tanning water, old tanning fluid, because then the leather gets better. He didn't know why, but I have been in contact and been visited by a very, very good old former tannery teacher at the Reutlingen Gerberschule in Germany. And he told me that in the old tanning water, you get one armed molecules. And in the fresh new bark water, you get two binders, two binder molecules.
Mm.
So if you start with them, you will block the entrance to the hide, and it will take longer time to penetrate for the tannin into the hide.
Uh-huh.
So my father didn't know why. He did right, but didn't know why. But I know it now.
Oh, okay. And how long has the water been
It's
in
been
this
there
house?
for from 1922 when this tannery was built. We never change and get almost nothing a spill because we are very careful about this brew to
Mm.
keep it. So very, very little spill per year.
And so, what about you? Was it always in the cards for you to run this tannery after your father?
Now, I grew up with it, but they also wanted us to get a good work or a good job. So I was
Mm.
trained to become a psychologist. I've been working as that for 10
Mm.
years, 10, 12 years.
Mhm.
And well, it's good to have.
Good to have
So,
someone to lean back on, maybe.
yeah, yes, yes. But I
Uh,
prefer being a tenor. That's much better. And I've been fortunate enough, which not many people have been, to be able to work with my father together with him in the tannery. We were
of course.
standing hand fleshing the hides here where I'm standing now.
Mhm.
It took maybe 2, 3 days. So sometimes you fell silent and sometimes you were talking about olden times and things like that. Very nice, really good.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean,
Mm.
that must be the best way to learn as well,
Yeah,
to work together.
yeah.
But then if we move into the material or to leather as a material, what is it that you like about leather? What are the positive and the positive aspects of leather?
Well, I think it's leather is it's available because I mean there are hides which come from slaughtering different animals which we use and eat the meat from. Otherwise, we would have to waste it for no use.
Right.
Also, I think it is if it is tanned in a proper way, it can be recyclable, and also be environmentally okay.
Mm.
It is also a very nice and comfortable material because, like in shoes,
Mm.
if I don't know how you can replace leather in shoes, it is very nice to have.
Mm.
But also, finally, I think people like it. People like leather. They
Yeah.
cherish it, and therefore maybe they also take better care of it because they like it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I think there are many good aspects about leather.
Mm. I completely agree. I also think it's an amazing material to have and to take care
Yeah.
of, and just the smell of it, I think, is so nice
And
as
I
well.
grew up with it, with my grandfather being out with the horse, picking up, holding, getting hay for the cows in the sleigh and the harness. You had to
Yeah.
treat it, and it had to be very durable.
So do you keep your own animals as well? Do you get your hides
No, not
from your own
not
animals?
that. It's from nearby here, from other people having animals.
Okay, but then so then we can conclude that a very nice material in a way, and many of us really like it. But then there are some negative sides to leather as well, especially maybe if it's produced in another type of a way than what you are doing. Could you expand a little bit about the negative sides, or the more bad things about leather?
Of course, we must remember that we are a very small tannery.
Yes.
So big tanneries have more difficulties doing making leather.
Mm.
So one difference is that the tannin which is used, the tanning agent which is used by us, it is tannin. Also in vegetable tanning, it is the tannin which tans the leather. But most leather in the world, I guess around 80 to 90%, is tanned with chromium, three-valent chromium, which is put into the leather in the process. Later on, if you burn the leather, the three-valent chromium will transform into six-valent chromium, which is very noxious and spreads easily in the groundwater. So actually, I think that bags, shoes, sofas, jackets made of chromium tan leather should be somehow recycled, or you should get out the chromium from it to take care of it in a good way, which is not done now.
So one risk is at the end of the life when burning it, or when
Yeah,
it needs to be
yeah,
destroyed one way or the
yeah,
other, then there is a
yeah,
risk that chromium 6 is developed.
yeah. But of course, during the process as well, when you unhair the hide, doing the tanning, and afterwards when you finish the leather, there are different chemicals involved which have to be taken care about of in different ways in a um, setup which can take care of the chemicals in different ways. And this is that is very important, of course,
Yeah.
to have a good setup for that.
And I suppose that in many tanneries in the world, I mean, if we disregard the ones in Europe, maybe some in US and so on as well, in many of these tanneries, they don't have that proper setup for the chemicals.
They may have a setup, but maybe it's not working properly, or maybe it's too little, not taking care of everything. So it is. I think there is a difference.
Do you have any tips or recommendations for brands that are out there listening
Well,
to this?
I think especially if it's a bigger brand, which who have more resources, more money, more people,
Mm,
they should, I think, try to get in contact with the producer, the tannery,
mm,
and talk to them and show and explain to the owners, to the tannery, that it is important. The customers ask for this, so you will have to, inevitably you will have to adapt to this, and you will
yeah.
have to focus on improving your standards. So it is a long process. I mean, it
Mm,
takes time, and for a smaller customer, smaller brand, maybe it's not possible to do that. But maybe then you can at least go for tanneries who are have a standard
yeah.
which is approved of,
Yeah.
certification of the leather.
And there are also options, chromium-free tanning options these days that are, I think, are becoming
Mhm.
more and more. I mean, they're developing anyway. I don't know how available they are, but is that an option as well, you think?
I think so, because then you don't add to the chromium problem.
Yeah,
So this is coming more and more, and mostly maybe available in Europe and like America,
yeah,
but also coming in other countries. But has to be asked for, because sometimes they say it is. If you ask, is this vegetable tanned?
mm,
Yes, they can say, and then I want to have a certificate that it's 100% chromium 10. Okay, we start with using maybe 1 or 1.5% of chromium, and the retanning is done by vegetable. So it's semi-veg
mm,
in that way. So that
okay,
you can ask for to be sure that it is
okay,
100% vegetable tan leather.
okay,
This
that's
is a
good.
bit of a trap,
I
I'd say.
understand. I
Yeah,
understand. They can say that it's chrome free, but it's only one part of the process that has been chrome free.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
One part in the beginning they tan with chromium, maybe 1.5%, but later on the rest at the end they tan with vegetable tan extracts.
Okay.
So that is semi-veg, not full veg.
I understand. Do you know if there are any certificates that can kind of
Yes,
assure this?
you can get that even in countries like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or other
Mm.
countries. This can be certified.
Yeah, speaking about Bangladesh, actually, that
Mhm.
leads me into the question of you and your business in Bangladesh. I mean, you have a bit of a background and history with Bangladesh as well,
Yeah,
personally.
yeah,
Can you
yeah.
please tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I and my wife Inger worked there as volunteers, 1977 to 79,
Mm.
and which was very interesting. We lived in a small village and learned to speak Bangla, which I still do, which is very good now to do that.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so we got to know a lot of people there. We had 200 people coming to the project every day, like school and jute women working with jute handicraft, like that. After year 2000, we went back, and year 2005, we started a project there, making corporate gifts for companies in Sweden. And we felt that we had to give something back to the society there, not only producing, because we knew so many people there. And slowly this developed into our son Andres and our manager Tullin, whom we got to know when he was 3 years old, to
Wow.
become the manager of our operation in Bangladesh, Sandlund Hussein. And the brand name Sandlund Hussein, I am Sandlund, and his father Atik Hussein is Hussein. So they decided to start a bag brand, making very good bags, lasting for almost a lifetime, lasting very long. Also, but I think they use so much time thinking about the project plan and things like that. Why not start selling?
Yeah.
But I see now that they did a good job, because a very substantial part of their undertaking is to give back to the society, but also sell. Of course, they must sell to get money to run the thing. Yeah.
And then, so what about then the business there? The bags and so on that are produced
Yeah.
they are produced in Bangladesh, are they? These
Produced in
bags?
Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Bangladeshi cows.
Okay. And
And from
they are tanned in a Bangladeshi tannery.
Yes, we are. We had developed totally chrome-free leather. It took us 5 years, and we have it certified. And we are renting a place in another tannery. It is not maybe the best in Bangladesh, but we try to keep it as good as possible. We would like to make a tannery of our own in the village where we lived, but it takes quite a lot of money. So then we would need a partner for that. So let's see what will happen.
Yeah.
We had to do whatever we can do.
So to finish off this conversation, I would like to ask you about the future and how you see the future of the leather industry and how we will be producing leather in the future. What do you think? If you look at the 10-year period of time, but then maybe also a little bit further ahead or past 10 years time as well.
Well, I think in 10 years, maybe not so much will happen. It will be higher demands for good quality. That I think will be more focus on. And so perhaps also, I hope also that people will focus on the users, because the user side is, I think, a bit forgotten. It's only the producers we're talking about, because if you, as a user, buy a better quality, take care of your material, whether it is cotton or leather or anything else. If you take care of it better, maybe it will last longer, so you can reduce the footprint. Anyhow, I think in 10 years, not much will be changed. People will still use it, and there will come other materials. But in the longer period, like maybe 20, 30, 40 years, I think that leather can also be used in a 3D printer using stem cells. And then you will get seamless shoes, seamless jackets, seamless bags. So you can any shape you can want to have.
That's
And
interesting. And you have also been exposed to this a bit, or do you know anything about
yeah,
stem
well,
cells leather?
there was a competition in Sweden '86 where I competed with two things. One of these, this was one of them. I didn't
Okay.
get any prize, bit too early. But I know that it has been made human hide from stem cells for if you get burned from an accident to replace human skin. It's the same. So, and also some investment I saw in New York for this. So I think it will come. I think it's
Interesting.
inevitable.
Yeah,
Mm.
but for sure, leather will continue to be a loved material that we will not stop using.
simultaneously with this, I think people will ask more for the real thing, the made by someone, made by hand. This I think will increase more because it's people are not doing anything with their hands today.
No, you're right.
Only maybe putting their fingers on this telephone.
Yeah, exactly. Let's hope that we're moving more towards more handicraft and more close by produced
Yeah,
products.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It gives you it gives a very good sense to a good feeling to make something yourself, really.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm.
Yes, I agree. I definitely agree with that.
Mm.
And you do that every day, so you definitely
Yeah,
know
yeah.
what you're talking about. Thank you so much, Jan. It was very nice to have you with me today.
Well, thank you for inviting me, and I think it is very good to and very nice to have done this interview with you.
Thank you so much for participating.